Okay, so let's practice solving some equations. You are going to need your Desmos calculator out. So let's take a look at number 2. Okay, so we are going to solve the equation for x. So the first thing, remember, I'm just going to draw my dividing line because it is balancing this equation. So the first step I have is to distribute. I know if I have distribution because of the parentheses. So the first on the left-hand side, remember I'll call this left, this is right-hand side. On the left-hand side, there's nothing to distribute, no parentheses. So I'm just gonna bring everything down. I'm just gonna rewrite it so I keep everything on eye level for me. And then on the right-hand side, I have this 7, positive 7, and I'm gonna distribute that into everything. So nothing I'm doing yet with the 2x. I'm simply going to bring that down. And then 7 times x is positive 7x. Don't forget the sign. Positive 7 times positive 11 is positive 77. Then I have my next step, which is my combine like terms. Remember, combining like terms is on the same side of the equation. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's look at the left-hand side of the equation. Are there like terms? Well, I have an x here, and do I have another x here? I do. So these are like terms. I'm going to combine them. So 4x minus 8x. 4 minus 8 is a negative 4x. And right now I have nothing to combine with that positive 51, so I'm going to bring it down. And now I'm going to look at the right-hand side. Well, over here, I have 2x, positive 7x. 2 plus 7 is 9x. And I'm just going to bring my positive 77 down. My next step is to move the variable. Okay, moving the variable is if when I'm looking at my equation, if I have a variable on the left-hand side and the same variable on the right-hand side, I need to get them on the same side. So here on the left-hand side, I have a negative 4x. On the right-hand side, I have positive 9x, and I would like to put them on the same side. It doesn't matter which one you move. I'm just going to move the 9x. So to do that, I'm going to use inverse operation. I'm going to subtract 9x. So when I subtract 9x, my plan works. This becomes 0. That's what I wanted. I haven't done anything with my 77, so I bring that down. On the left-hand side, remember, equations are all about balancing. So whatever you do to one side, do to the other. Okay, if I subtracted 9x on the right-hand side, I'm going to subtract 9x on the left. Okay, negative 4 minus 9, and you can put that into Desmos. That leaves me with negative 13x. And I'm simply going to bring that 51 down. Okay, so there's my move the variable. My next step is going to be my add or subtract. Adding or subtracting is when we now start moving our constants. So now that I have the variable on one side, I need to look at that same side where my variable is and ask myself, do I have a constant? Well, yes, right here I have this plus 51. I need to move that to the other side. So what do I need to do to a positive 51 to make that 0? Well, I am going to subtract 51. And when I do that, that works. It makes that 0. Okay, I'm going to bring down my negative 13x. And with the equation, whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So if I subtracted 51 on the left, I'm going to subtract 51 on the right. And I can plug that into Desmos. 77 minus 51 gives me a 26. Okay. I'm not done yet because I need to solve for x, and I've solved for negative 13 of them. So my last step is my m, and that is where I'm going to multiply or divide. So looking here, negative 13 has attached itself to the x. That's to say negative 13 times x. So I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide by negative 13. because we know that any number divided by itself is 1. So this is going to leave me with an x. And whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So if I divide it by negative 13 on the left, I'm going to divide by negative 13 on the right. 26 divided by negative 13 is negative 2. And remember, this equal sign followed me all the way down. And there's my answer, x equals negative 2. Let's take a look at number 4. And I know you're looking at the fraction, but remember, fractions work the same exact way. So here's where you're going to want to use Desmos, because we can always plug those into Desmos. Let Desmos do the work for you. You have it, let Desmos do the work. So let's see, I'm going to draw that dividing line. Same thing, and my first step is to distribute. So here's the left side of my equation, here's the right side of my equation. Let's start with the left side to distribute. So I have a 1/8 to distribute, and that is perfectly okay. So I can plug in 1/8 times 5. I think fractions are so much easier to deal with than decimals, so I'm going to leave this in a fraction. 1/8 times 5x is 5/8 x. And now I have 1/8 times positive 64. You can plug that into Desmos, and you know that 1/8 times 64 is just 8. So I have a plus 8. Okay, it's a little bit better to look at. Now let's do the other side. I have the 1/4. 1/4 times 20. So 1/4 times 20 is I have 5. And then 1/4 times 2. So a fourth of 2 is a half. And once again, I am going to leave this in a fraction form. I just think fractions are easier to deal with. So there is my distribution done. That looks a whole lot nicer to look at than what we started with. My next is to combine like terms. Remember, we're going to look at the same side of the equation. Looking at the left side, or do I have like terms? Well, no, I do not. I have an x and I have a constant. They cannot be combined. On the right side, same thing. I have an x and a constant. So right now, I have no like terms I can combine. Let's look at the next step. My move the variable. I have an x on one side of the equation, x on the other, so I need to get those together. I'm simply here, I'm going to subtract 1/2 x to both sides. So if I subtract 1/2 on the left, this becomes 0. That's what I wanted. I bring the 5 down, so yay, got rid of the fraction on the right-hand side. And now, since equations are all about balancing, since I subtracted 1/2 on the left, I am going to subtract 1/2 on the right. I am going to encourage you to put this into Desmos. I know, just to make sure, I do not want anybody coming up with that it's 4/6 or anything like that, but it's actually 1/8 x. 5/8 minus 1/2 is 1/8 x. And then I have that plus 8. Okay. So there's my move the variable. My next is going to be add or subtract. This is when we are dealing with the constants. Remember, the constants are just our numbers, our integers. So I'm simply going to look at the side that has the variable on it. So I'm looking at the left side only. Do I have a constant on that left side? Because that's where my variable is that needs to go away. Well, I do. I have that 8. So to make that 8 go away, I'm simply going to do the inverse, and I'm going to subtract 8 here. This goes away, which was perfect. I bring this down, 1/8 x. And now, whatever I did to one side, I do to the other. I subtracted 8 on the left. I'm going to subtract 8 on the right. And now I have here -3. My last step is I have not solved for x yet. I have solved for 1/8 x. So here is my multiply or divide. Okay. Now, how do you get rid of a fraction? Well, simple. Multiply the entire thing by the denominator. 8 times 1/8 leaves me with 1x. That's what I wanted. And as we've done normally with the entire equation, whatever we did to one side, do to the other. So if I multiply the left side by 8, multiply the right side by 8. 8 times -3 is -24. And there's my answer. Okay, let's try the last one. I'll do number 3 since we've done an integer, we've done a fraction. Now let's look at a decimal. Okay, so here, number 3, let's take a look at the decimal. I'm going to start still drawing my line straight down the middle. So the first thing I ask myself, do I have anything to distribute? Well, yes, on the left-hand side, I have parentheses. Now, I'm not going to distribute 0.5. I'm distributing -0.5. Take the sign with it. Okay. So first, I'm going to simply bring my 9 down because I'm not touching that yet. There's the left, there's the right. Okay, and then I have -0.5 times 6. So -1/2 is 6. I have that leaves me with -3. And then I have -0.5 times -x. Negative times a negative is a positive. -0.5 times a -1x. So -0.5 times -1 is just a positive 0.5x. Okay. Right side, nothing to distribute. So I'm simply just going to bring that down and rewrite it. My next step, combine like terms. So let's take a look at the left-hand side. Do I have any like terms on the left-hand side? Well, yeah, I have a 9 and I have a -3. Those are like terms. So if I combine 9 minus 3, I get 6. And I'm going to bring down my 0.5x. And then on the right-hand side, I have a 6.7 and a 2.3. And if I combine this, I get a 9 plus an x. Okay, so combine like terms done. Now my next step, move the variable. X on one side, x on the other. So I'm just going to do, I personally just prefer my variables on the left-hand side. So I'm going to move this x over, subtract x on this side. Okay, my plan goes away because 1x minus 1x is 0. And I'm left with 9. If I subtract x on the right, I'm subtracting x on the left. So 0.5 minus x, so 0.5 minus 1 leaves me with a 0.5x. And I'll bring down the 6. Okay. Now my next step is I'm going to add or subtract. That is when I am moving my constants. So I'm just going to look at the side with my variable on it. That is my left side. I have a constant of 6. I need to move that. So if I have a positive 6, I'm going to subtract 6 over here. So 6 minus 6, that goes to 0. That's what I wanted. Leaves me with a negative 0.5x. Subtracted 6 on the left. I'm going to subtract 6 on the right. So I have 9 minus 6 gives me a positive 3. Good. Almost there, almost down to our last step. So I need to solve for x, but right now I have solved for negative 0.5x. So how do I get rid of that 0.5 attached to that variable? Well, I'm simply just going to divide it. So here I'm going to do a negative 0.5. And we know that any number divided by itself leaves me with 1. So negative 0.5 divided by negative 0.5 is 1. That's what I wanted, leaves me with x. If I divide by negative 0.5 on the left, I'm going to divide by negative 0.5 on the right. Here, 3 divided by negative 0.5 leaves me with negative 6. There we go.